A large part of the college experience is experiencing freedom for the first time. It allows us to develop the social and emotional capital necessary to determine an identity and create principles on which to stand. It allows us to create a community of camaraderie. So when we get into sticky situations in a college environment, we have an outlet of support and comfort. Nowhere is this more important in a college environment than at the bar. Because you see, according to my friends from the American Addiction Center, approximately half of all college students in America have had their drink spiked at least once. You see, according to the center, most often alcohol is used to facilitate the crime of drug-assisted sexual assault. What also may complicate drink spiking is a lack of confidence in the frequency of reporting the issue or recognizing the symptoms. For my friend Shirah Benarde, she became one of the youngest entrepreneurs to ever pitch a business idea on Shark Tank. At the height of COVID, at the age of only 17, she became one of the fastest entrepreneurs to ever secure a deal on the popular television program. She's the innovative founder of NightCap. It's a drink spiking prevention company with one mission in mind: finding innovative and creative ways to safeguard nightlife to ensure that everyone goes home safely after a night out at the bar. Benarde says it's always important to be aware of your surroundings and build a community of friends who you know, like, and trust. She joined me this week to discuss her Shark Tank experience, her journey in entrepreneurship, and where her obvious ambition comes from. I'm Kevin McShann. Let's have this conversation.
Yeah, of course. I started NightCap at 16 years old, and it's a drink spiking prevention company, and I am excited to talk more about it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know it was started based off your own college experience, talking to friends about their horror stories about drink spiking in general, my friend. So I'm wondering if we can start the conversation by you telling me about your personal connection to this mission and what it's all about.
Yeah, so when I was only 16 years old, I had a college friend that was spiked at the bar, and a couple weeks later, I fell asleep and thought of a invention in a dream when I was sleeping. And the next morning, I woke up and I created a little prototype out of my mom's stockings and a scrunchie from my room. And that's when NightCap was born. But, I sat down with my dad and he immediately said, "NightCap or top hat?" And so we clearly went with a winner, NightCap. We called it, we took NightCap and used it as the name. And we started taking the first few steps to really get it off the ground. We found a seamstress to make more prototypes for us. We found a graphic designer to come up with a logo. And then, sat down with a patent attorney and yeah, just started kind of doing small things here and there. We didn't know what we were doing. I don't come from a family of entrepreneurs, so we just kind of were doing a lot of trial and error in the beginning and figuring out how to get this to market.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm wondering, Shirah, if we can talk about the prevalence of spiking drinks and why college students should be particularly on alert, and how NightCap has helped in this effort.
Yeah, college students, are definitely vulnerable to this crime because drink spiking happens everywhere. But I would say that college campuses are a big target for spiking incidents. And, you're kind of, you go off to college, you want to go out and have fun. So we have a lot of students that are just kind of, they like to party a lot. And so I think it's just super crucial to, if you're going to be out and partying, just being, aware of your surroundings and knowing some safety precautions and how to stay safe when going out. Like, for example, you should always watch your drink being made, or, go out with people that you trust, have a code word, like have maybe a hand signal if you're feeling uncomfortable, make sure that no one's drinking and driving, and then also, take a drink cover with you, like a nightcap, and never, ever, ever, we always say never leave your drink unattended with or without a nightcap. So, our drink covers aren't used to set your drink down and go to the bathroom. Therefore, that extra safety precaution, like wearing a seatbelt or locking your door, just taking that safety measure before anything happens, and also, not just leaving your drink unattended is super important.
Yeah, absolutely. And Shira, I know that you were one of the youngest people to ever appear on Shark Tank, and you secured one of the fastest deals, my friend. So tell me about that experience and what you got out of it, my friend.
Yeah, it was a great experience. I was 17 at the time, and my brother came with me. He was 21, and we flew to Las Vegas. Well, we applied and then, got called back. I think there's 40,000 applicants our year, and they narrow it down to about 100, I think. And so we flew to Vegas. We quarantined because it was during COVID in a hotel room for 10 days. And then on the 10th day, they brought us out to pitch the Sharks. And it was super intimidating, but at the same time, such a special moment for us. So, I tried to enjoy it as much as I can instead of get too nervous. But we went in there, asked for $60,000 for 20%, and we ended up getting a deal with Lori for $60,000 for a 25%. So we left with a deal. We closed our deal, and we have an investment with Lori. So it's been super awesome. The exposure was also life-changing. So, Shark Tank gives any business, I think, a lot of credibility just for being on the show. So it really, really helped us in the beginning to get us off the ground. We were able to say, we were on Shark Tank. We did this with, our company. We pitched to the Sharks, and I think a lot of people have respect for that, and they've seen us on the show. So it's really cool. It was a really cool experience.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know that since appearing on the show, you've sold over a half a 500,000 units, and it's appeared in over 40 countries around the world, and you've partnered with over 145 major universities. So tell me about the global appeal that the product has had, my friend.
Yeah, we have, slowly but surely gotten in the hands of a lot of students around the country, and we sell to over 40 countries now. So it's really, really cool to see people that, know the product, know the name of the product, and are taking safety into their own hands. They've probably seen us on Shark Tank or on TikTok. And the schools that we work with, I think it's over 170 now. they, reach out to us. I think they see us on social media and they order in bulk for their students. And it's either through the health centers or the campus police departments. All different kinds of organizations at the universities are reaching out and just trying to keep their students safe by grabbing some nightcaps. And then, yeah, I mean, we've sold, I think, over 700,000 units now. And it's been just such a cool journey to see, how many people are getting access to safety tools and being able to just, have their scrunchie or their keychain and, have the tools they need to stay safe. It's really been awesome.
Yeah, and I'm wondering if you can tell me exactly how NightCap works for people that haven't been exposed to the product before.
Yeah, so NightCap, the original product is a scrunchie. So you can wear it on your wrist or in your hair. And then when you go out to the bar, you can there's a cover inside the scrunchie. You could pop it over your drink so nobody can tamper with your drink. It's washable and reusable, and just super convenient to use. And then, from there, we kind of realized that not everyone wants to wear a scrunchie. We want to make this more unisex. So we created a keychain version where the drink cover goes inside the keychain. And, we have reusable products like scrunchies and keychains. And then we also have disposable options like our drink spiking prevention stickers that are disposable. And we can pretty much customize them all. So that's why we work with a lot of universities, and we can customize them with university logos. And we have beer bottle tops. So basically anything that you drink, we have something for it, like seltzers, beer bottles. No matter what you're drinking, we have you covered. And no matter who you are, we also have you covered because we don't just target towards women anymore.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm wondering for you specifically, how the Shark Tank experience has helped you become a better entrepreneur, and what aspects from the show do you still use to this day, my friend?
Yeah, I think Shark Tank definitely helps me become a better entrepreneur just because I think that was one of the most intimidating things I've ever done. You walk into a room full of extremely successful people, and I think that sets you up for literally the rest of your life by just knowing that if you can do that, you can do pretty much anything. So that for sure was number one. I feel like if I ever get scared, I always think back to, you walked into this room with some of the most intimidating people in the world or in the, country. So you can kind of change your perspective on things and shoot your shot when you need to, because you did something so scary that you can do anything. And I think too, I grew a lot from Shark Tank. I think it was a big learning lesson, just knowing, I guess, that we had a good product, and it showed me that we could create more good products. So I know we went on the show with just one product, just a scrunchie, and then I think it's important to expand. So we did that, and yeah, I think definitely taught me a lot about business and myself.
Yeah, absolutely. And sure, I'm wondering if you can take us behind the curtain after a Shark Tank deal comes to pass. A lot of people watch the show and they get a periodic update when the next season starts about businesses that have been on the show before. But I'm wondering if you can tell me, once a deal has been consummated on the show, what are the next steps after you secure a deal on the show?
Yeah, so when you secure a deal on the show, it takes a few months to close the deal. You have to get, validated, and the sharks want to know that, you're what you say that you are, and your business is where you say that it is. So, it takes a few months. They go over a couple more things. They just read a little bit more about you. And then eventually, you connect with the shark and you go back and forth, you sign the deal. And then, you start slowly speaking to your investors. And I remember after the show, we got a lot of great advice from Lori about branding and how to make your your packaging pop and like how people have a very short attention span. So they want to like look at your product and know exactly what it is, um, right when they see it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know that through your social media campaigns, you focus on safety and entrepreneurship. And it's really resonated with your following on social media. So tell me about why it's important for you to emphasize safety um, within your business and why it's so important to your growth as well. What are your thoughts there?
Yeah, social media has been everything for our business. So all of our sales pretty much come from social media, and it's super important to be utilizing it now because it's a free resource for anyone to just jump on there and start making content. It's helped us so much with just getting the product out there and having people see us, visibility, and getting our customers to ask questions and feel connected to us and know that like we're the founders behind our company and we're on a mission to keep people safe and change laws and tackle the problem at hand. So I think it's helped a lot with just connecting with our customer and reaching just millions and millions of people.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm wondering also your advice for people to remain safe on social media because it can be a minefield of people that are on that platform, mostly for good, but there are some detractors on social media, as I'm sure you know. So, what do you think is the recipe for staying safe on social media?
Yeah, I think, I would say if I would consume less of it and create more. I try to not doom scroll, like I try not to be on my phone for so many hours just scrolling because I think it's easy for all of us to do that. So I try to create more content than I'm consuming, and just put more out there, more educate people more, and about the product, about the problem, like just about everything. And yeah, I think don't get too caught up in what everyone else is doing and just like find your own way and version of your content.
Yeah, because that's the way you maximize profit, right? And the most different, make the most difference. Would you agree with that?
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. And I know that advocacy and innovation is something that you're constantly sort of striving to accomplish. So, how do you think advocacy and innovation are connected in business?
That's a great question. I think, advocacy and innovation, they definitely meet, they definitely cross paths. I think it depends on what you are. Sorry, my laundry's going off. I don't know if you can hear it. It definitely it intersects because, for us at least, we're just trying to innovate, create more products that help people, no matter who they are, what they're drinking. And then like at the same time, we're advocating for victims and for people who have experienced drink spiking or we want to hear those people's stories and we want to be a voice for them. So I think it's just like we are doing both at the same time, and they very much go hands in hand. And I guess the more we learn too about the problem, the more we know about how to create the best products.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I'm also curious to ask you about any advice you would have for aspiring entrepreneurs who want to pitch a product or a business on Shark Tank? What do you think is the key to a success there?
Yeah, I would say to get comfortable with the uncomfortable and to just put yourself out there, and you you can only grow if you do things differently and get out of your comfort zone. So that would be my advice to entrepreneurs.
Yeah, and tell me about um, how you challenge yourself each and every day to be a better entrepreneur? How do you challenge yourself to be 1% better each and every day?
I try to be better than I was the day before. I guess I love challenges. I think like I'm always working towards, a certain goal, and I think that helps me be a better entrepreneur. I try to communicate really well and just, learn from my mistakes in the past and carry them over to the future and just improve every day a little bit more.
Yeah, absolutely. And from a personal perspective, I'm also curious to ask you, how do you think you've remained to be grounded after experiencing so much success at a young age? So how do you think you've remained grounded and sort of within yourself, considering the success that you've had with NightCap? What would you say there?
Do you mean grounded like as a person or grounded with a G, like grounded?
Oh, grounded. Sorry.
Oh,
How have you remained grounded as a person, considering the success you've had with the company?
yeah, um I think I always remember like where I started, and also I remember what I'm trying to accomplish and that I'm not there fully yet, that I'm still working every single day to like get there. And I I hope that I can, you know, I hope that I can listen to just our customers more and like be, a relatable founder to them as well. So I don't think that success should change anyone. And I think it should just, make people better people. So I I don't know. I feel like I'm just kind of I practice gratitude, and that's how I remain grounded.
Yeah, absolutely. And sure, as you continue to have interactions with business leaders from all across the country and internationally, I'm fascinated to ask you, how do you think younger entrepreneurs have really affected the way that we define entrepreneurship today?
Hmm. Do you mind repeating the question?
Yeah, I'm just curious, as you continue to build relationships with other business leaders, I'm wondering how you have seen younger entrepreneurs sort of influence the new direction of entrepreneurship.
Yeah, I think that by just being themselves and just following their dreams, I think people look up to that and admire that. Um, and a lot of times as an entrepreneur, you have to not care what people think of you because you have to make decisions, you have to, focus and you have to limit your distractions. So I think just being very disciplined is super inspiring, and I am even inspired as well by other fellow young entrepreneurs. I think it's super motivating to see what everyone else is doing, and I try to connect with them a lot myself because it's important to surround yourself with who you want to be like. So I think it's a lot of inspiration comes from just like seeing people who are determined to really create something of their own.
Yeah, absolutely. And we started our conversation this afternoon talking about the importance of community. So I'm wondering if we can come full circle and ask you about how you think we can all work together as a community to continue to make nightlife safer for everyone to enjoy. What are your thoughts there?
Yeah, I think as a community, we can look out for one another more. I think bystanders should be voicing something if they've seen something, and um, just coming together to give ideas on how we can make nightlife better and safer, and just, acting as if we're looking out for each other, because it's really important for us to know what's going on so we can really change that.
And I know that your brother has had a very large impact on your entrepreneurial journey. So tell me about your connection with Michael and what is meant to the success of your business, my friend.
Yeah, I work with my brother Michael, and we're very good at different things. So we work very well together. My brother's more so on the operations side. I'm more on the marketing, sales side, and we, have a lot of fun with it. I think we wake up every day and we're excited to, get to work and help people. So it's been super awesome working with him, and I honestly couldn't see it any other way.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm fascinated to ask you about what do you think it means to be aware of your surroundings in today's college environment? What do you think that means to you?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think I think knowing, you know, who your friends are and what their intentions are and where you're going and, the clubs or the bars that you're going to, do they have good intentions? Like, are you entering a venue that has a bad reputation? Or are you hanging out with someone that has a bad reputation? I think it's super important for students to just be aware in the first place so they can, have the intention or just kind of know when something's going on. I know when I was in college, I was always aware of my surroundings and even people I didn't know. I was always looking out for people, still do. And I just think that, if you see something a little bit weird, it's definitely important to follow that gut instinct and just, you know, try and help out like your friends, and don't be afraid to ask for help yourself.
Yeah, and sure, my last question for you today has to do with your own personal and professional legacy and how you want your legacy to be defined, my friend. Friend, what are your thoughts there?
Yeah, I think I want my legacy to be right now at this point, I would say just someone who cared for other people and wanted to create real change. And I'm just trying to build a big community of people who want to advocate for this problem and create like real change, because the system and everything, it's not built for us in this situation. So it's just like really important for people and victims to get help. And when someone's roofied, they should be helped instead of thrown out of a bar. And when they get to the hospital, they should be given a test, and they're not. So I think I just hope that my legacy is one that is impactful and one that is saving lives potentially.
Yeah, absolutely. And finally, if people want to get connected with you personally or involved with NightCap, what's the best way they can do that?
You can look us up at nightcapit.com. We're on Amazon and in Forever 21, and all of our social media is nightcapit.
Fabulous. Well, Shira, I have to tell you, you've come out with a famous mouse trap to solve a prevalent problem in all of college campuses. You've really made a name for yourself and uh, contributed to solving a prevalent problem, my friend. So I want to thank you for engaging in conversation with me this afternoon. I want to wish you continued success, my friend, and I want to thank you for joining me this afternoon. It's most appreciated.
Thank you so much for having me.